Okay, so here with the Investing News Network, I'm Gabrielle Lacusta at the Biotech Showcase here in San Francisco. Today I'm speaking with the CEO of CytoSorbents, Phillip Chan, correct?
Yes.
So thank you for being here today.
Well, Gabrielle, thank you very much for taking the time to meet with me.
So I saw your presentation earlier today, but for investors who weren't able to make it out, can you give a quick rundown of the company and what went on during the presentation?
Sure. Maybe just to first introduce myself, I'm Dr. Phillip Chan. I'm the CEO of CytoSorbents. I am an MD, PhD internal medicine physician by background, having trained at both Yale and Harvard, and have been now the CEO of CytoSorbents for the past decade. In that period of time, we've been able to bring our flagship product, CytoSorb, to the market now in Europe and now in 53 countries around the world as a blood purification strategy to treat deadly inflammation in life-threatening illnesses like sepsis, burn injury, trauma, cytokine release syndrome, and cancer immunotherapy, as well as being used in cardiac surgery today.
Thank you. Now, going into your main focus, which is your product, from your presentation, it seemed like there's a lot of research going on in Europe. It's very big, and you're hoping to make the transition to make it just as big and even bigger here in the U.S. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So CytoSorb was approved and has been commercialized in the European Union. The first full year of commercialization was 2013. And we've now grown sales of CytoSorb to about a little more than $20 million, and now with more than 56,000 human uses, human treatments over that period of time. And so in the United States, we're actively looking to get CytoSorb approved in the United States through the second one of our verticals. So the first major vertical is critical care and the treatment of life-threatening illnesses like sepsis. That's roughly 3/4 of the cases that have been done to date. But cardiac surgery represents another major market, and that is currently the focus of getting CytoSorb approved in the United States. And we're currently running the 400-patient randomized controlled pivotal trial called REFRESH-2 AKI, using CytoSorb during high-risk cardiac surgery while the surgery is ongoing, where CytoSorb is installed into a bypass circuit in a heart-lung machine to actively purify inflammatory toxins that are being generated during surgery that could otherwise cause organ damage and organ failure postoperatively and cause a whole host of complications such as acute kidney injury, stroke, hemodynamic instability, as well as respiratory failure. So by cleaning these things up using a Brita filter for your blood, that's what people often call our product, the goal is to try to prevent these things from happening in the postoperative period and make that postoperative recovery much smoother. So our REFRESH-2 AKI trial is currently underway, about 39 patients enrolled, and with the target of completing that trial by 2020 and hopefully approved as a therapy to try to prevent or reduce the severity of acute kidney injury by 2021.
Thank you. Now, your company is very unique in the sense of, as you said, your product is approved in the European Union already, and you do have revenues incoming. So what are some kind of advantages or disadvantages of this?
Well, the great part about being a revenue-based company is the fact that as our revenues have been growing higher, and as we've been expanding our product gross margins higher, currently they're at 72%, but on a blended basis, mixing higher margin direct sales and lower margin distributor and partner sales. But we expect that to actually go to 80% this year on a quarterly basis. That is producing a lot of cash flow that we can use to help not only offset our operating business, right, but also to drive GAAP profitability. And a lot of biotechnology companies and medical device companies can't say that. In fact, a lot of medical device companies, the more they sell, the more they lose. Yet for us, we can actually achieve what we believe will be GAAP profitability in the next couple of years on a relatively low revenue base because of the high margin disposables business model that we have. And in terms of biotechnology companies, these companies are often spending tens of $millions a quarter running these massive clinical trials with the hope of getting approved. On the other hand, we are running much smaller studies because we can do that with medical devices. We are not using those trials for approval, right? We're using those trials to drive clinical data that will drive adoption, usage, reimbursement, and other things. And so it is a nice place to be.
And now with the focus here in the U.S. right now with the FDA, what kind of other expansion could we see in the future with the company?
Our first goal is to get CytoSorb approved in the United States and for the application of cardiac surgery. And we plan to try to expand the label to other life-threatening illnesses like sepsis and other things over time. In the meantime, we have another product called HemoDefend, and this is a product, unlike CytoSorb, which is taking your blood out of your body, purifying it outside of the body, and returning it back to you. HemoDefend is actually a product designed for the blood transfusion industry. HemoDefend is a point of transfusion filter that is designed to remove the non-infectious contaminants from transfused blood products, like packed red blood cells, that can, like antibodies, cytokines, bioactive lipids, potassium, and many other things, that can otherwise cause transfusion reactions in susceptible people. And some of those times that can be life-threatening. And so this is a program that was funded by the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, a division of NIH, as well as U.S. SOCOM Special Ops Command, as a way to try to improve the quality and safety of the blood supply. And we are now nearing a human pivotal trial early this year, and hope to get HemoDefend approved on the U.S. market by late 2019 or early 2020.
Okay, so aside from this and the clinical trial finishing up to hopefully reach approval in 2020, what are some other milestones that investors might want to look forward to in the next couple years?
I think that there are going to be a lot of catalysts for our company. We've already demonstrated a very solid track record of growth over the years. We made the Deloitte Fast 500 for the second year in a row, which is a list of the fastest growing companies in North America across all industries. And we've demonstrated the ability to grow with a compound annual growth rate of about 71% over the past several years. But we believe that we're just scratching the surface of the market opportunity. This is really a $20 billion opportunity in critical care and cardiac surgery. And we have respectable revenue of $20 million, but again, just scratching the surface of this opportunity. So we believe that we are at the beginning of a multi-year growth story where we have the potential to grow even faster than we have been. And that will be a very exciting time for us. And we're just investing to be able to drive that growth.
Thank you. And are there any other final points that you want investors to know about the company or the device? Anything?
I think that we're one of those unique companies that has the ability to not only save lives, but to be a potentially very successful investment for those involved. Because it is such a highly profitable business model that has the potential at the end of the day, once we hit GAAP profitability, to drop 50 cents on every dollar in sales to EBITDA, right? And we believe that this would place us in a very unique category of medical device companies as well as biotechnology companies with that kind of cash flow and that type of profitability. We always like to say that we have the risk profile of a medical device company, but really the upside of a biotechnology company because of the massive markets that we serve. And so, hopefully time will tell and we'll be able to prove that out.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much, Gabrielle.
And again, this is Gabrielle at the Biotech Showcase here in San Francisco, speaking with the CEO of CytoSorbents.